I will go ahead and get started. And today I'm going to be talking about My Father's World curriculum. And that is what I have used for 6 years. Since I started homeschooling, I've always used My Father's World. We did try something else for a couple months, an online curriculum, and that did not work for us. So we went back to My Father's World. So I have preschool, pre-preschool, and then I skipped a preschool all the way up to what you, I guess, would consider 6th grade, but it's kind of a little bit different with My Father's World. So let's see if it is. Okay, it is working. Making sure that my live was working.
Hello, everyone.
Takes a minute for it. It's always legs behind. But I'm just going to kind of walk you through I'll finish introducing myself. So I have been homeschooling, like I said, for 6 years. I'll be going into my 7th year. We pretty much used My Father's World the whole entire time with all 4 kids. I actually have 5 kids, but 4 that are homeschool age. And I would guess kind of the method or the style that My Father's World is a Charlotte Mason with a little bit of a classical mix in there. Charlotte Mason is very big on the nature, and it has a lot of the classical books that you read, and it goes in a chronological order. So from 1st grade, we have started in Genesis, and then all the way through you go all the way through modern American history. And it kind of is an awesome way to look at it, because when you start reading through the Bible, you almost think that is a total different time period where nothing else was going on. But My Father's World shows you what was going on in the rest of the world at that time, or, even like when Jesus was on earth, what was going on with the rest of the world around it. So I really like that about My Father's World. It doesn't do a lot of test taking. Actually, there's really no test taking. It's a lot about notes, writing in journals, writing in your notebooking, and doing a lot of outdoor exploring, drawing on that. So I will just kind of show you what I have and what comes with. I always buy the deluxe package. And so when I buy the deluxe package, and then since I have multiple kids, the only thing I have to buy the following year is the student packs. So it actually becomes cheaper once you get going, because you are repurposing all your other books. The only thing you have to do, I think they're like $35 for the student packs. So I will go ahead and start over there. And this is the pre-K. So it's all aboard Animal Train. And this would be your teacher's manual. So this has everything that you need to do to prepare, everything that you need to say, your schedule in it. It's all in there. And then the student pack, I have it in here. It gives you all your student sheets. It's actually a lot more than this, but there's a lot of cutting out for this one. So I just made this with some little vanilla file folders, and then I bound them together. But it has all my little cards that I need throughout the weeks. That's just kind of how I stay organized with that. And then it gives you all of your read alouds, all the books that you're going to be reading to your child, and then your little manipulatives, and they encourage you to add more to this for preschool. And then the next level, there's another preschool. I can't remember what that's called. Then you go into kindergarten, and it's God's creation from A to Z. And we will actually look inside of this curriculum, and I will work through what that looks like inside. This is the one we just did with my kindergartner. And then you have 1st grade, and this was probably my favorite one so far, mainly because of so they have a little Bible reader, and you'll have to excuse it. It's been used 3 kids so far. So they start reading through their Bible reader, and then they start notebooking. And so they will draw, I'll get a, and like, you know, this one is about Adam and Eve when they ate the fruit, and it's a sad day. They titled it and they just drew their picture. So just kind of a little keepsake with that. Again, it comes with all your manipulatives that you need. And the science in this one is just going to be the Usborne books, different experiments in there. And Sherry's watching, hi. And then this could be second, third grade. It's Adventures in U.S. History. It just depends on the number of your kids, because after this, you'll start the family cycle. And this science is, again, they use the Usborne books. So it's just a lot of activities that you get to do, which makes science fun. It comes with all your read-alouds. And I'm sure there's some magnets and stuff that come with it, but that's in a different box. So I didn't include that. And then we go to Exploring Countries and Cultures. This is the beginning of the family cycle. So if you have a kid that's in the 3rd or 4th grade, you can start the family cycle with that. And so the other younger kids can actually join in. I actually go to 1st grade just because I like the 1st grade curriculum. I go to the 1st grade, and then once they're in 2nd grade, the younger kids, they will start joining with this. So when I started this, I had a 2nd grader and a 4th grader. Is that how it was? No, I had a 3rd grader. And I don't remember. But they started with this, and it's you just go over all the countries that there are and the culture of them, and you get passports and you get money exchange. This was probably my least favorite curriculum, but a lot of people have said it's their favorite. They use this for their science, the Usborne Living World Encyclopedia, and the Properties of Ecosystem, which is God's design. So all the sciences from now on will be completely pretty much biblical based. The sciences in here, even though they're using it's neither, doesn't talk about evolution or creation, but actually in our teacher's manual, they'll tell you what to say about creation. And then the next one is Creation to the Greeks. And they will do Science in the Beginning is what that science was. It seems like there was another science, but. And then after that is, let me get these all together. It's a lot of books. I'm going to sit down for this one. Is the Rome to Reformation. And this will start with the time of Jesus and what else was going on in the time of that. And then you will be doing the Apologia Astronomy. And so with My Father's World, you just get the teacher's book, what you would read. But I ordered the student activity book just for them to kind of get their science. I mean, they will have science assignments in the actual teacher's manual, but it's just a lot of notebooking or maybe even experiments. And then they also do the human body, and they use a few different books on that. This is where you make all the parts of the human body. A Christian perspective on how to explain the wonderful ways babies are made. And then after that is exploration to 1850. And so this would be early American history. And after that, it's 1850 to modern American history. And that's what we'll be doing next year. And so I will go ahead and we'll go and look inside of this one too, to see how the family cycle works also after the kindergarten one. So let me gather all my kindergarten stuff here. Sorry, guys. I'm going to put these down. If you guys have any questions or anything, just let me know, and I can try to answer them, try to see them as we answer them. So your teacher's manual, when you start out, it will tell you, basically like kind of what you'll be doing, and then it will go over things to get gathered up and get ready, and then kind of through, just the prepping, what you should do before school starts. And then it will go through your weeks that you have and just kind of what to do to begin teaching. Then we're going to skip to week 30 because I have the sheets. So I will show you what that looks like. So it has your day 1 through 5, and then your reading, language, arts, and math, your activities, and then your read alouds. And then what you can do outside. And then as you turn the page, you will have day 1. Here's a poem you're supposed to read. It will talk about the Bible, like what you're going to actually be talking about. And you'll go to day 2. It gives a very descriptive outline of what to say for that day. So you would start your, need my binder. And it's very repetitive throughout the whole all the weeks. So you're going to start with, it says day 1, you are going to do your calendar. So this is something that you do every single day. Let me find a calendar page. And everything that you need with this comes with your student packs. I did add a math because I like math, you see, and I just a little bit more math. So you do your calendar, and then you will do your hundreds chart where they count to hundreds, and just keep everything in their binder. And they do the hundreds chart, and you kind of also go through your alphabet, letters that you've learned, the number line, we might do skip counting or just recognition. And then you're going to introduce your, it'll tell you actually. So in this book, there's these yellow sheets in the back. And this is something that you will do. It'll be the same every day there'll be day 1. So you're going to introduce your letter sound. So for week 30, it was the letter Y. And so you would introduce your flashcard Y. I have it. No, I don't know what it is, but I had it. This is what the flashcards look like. Oh, I do too. I know where it's at. I tried to be organized and I forgot I was being organized. So you have your letter Y. And then this picture will be on your card. And then you will do your, I don't have the letter Y for these, but this is a student sheet that we cut out. And so you have this would be your letter, this is letter P, and then they color pictures that start with that sound. And so later on, in the week, you would play different games with these. Then you sing your alphabet song, but you say it with the sounds that it makes. And you do your letter textures. And then it just kind of goes throughout the day. Day 2, you do when you start learning vowels, you'll do your vowel sounds. And there's so this would be day 2. You're going to find the ones that start with ya, and circle them. And then you're going to write your
my house.
Okay.
And then action on top.
Okay.
And then.
Sorry, guys, my kid is interrupting. And then you write your number.
No, then I peel my bed.
Okay, we'll figure it out later, okay? Have Tegan do it, please. And then day 3, you will, when they start reading, they'll have to read the words and then glue them on. And then here was just their math activity that they had. Yes. But everything that you need to do is told in the teacher's manual. Sorry, my kid, they were supposed to stay upstairs. Come here. Okay, now go back upstairs, please. Day 4 is, so you start with, like, they have a, it's a, your ladder, and then they write their words. Then they have to read these words there. And then day 5 is they have to draw something that starts with the ya and write it. And then they have a story that they read, a little short story. So that's just kind of how it goes through the days. So that's all included with your student sheets. And let me see here. I gotta get back to where I was at. And they always have one more page here. Then you'll go through your Bible activity and it'll tell you what you need to say. Then you introduce a new biblical concept card. So he'll have these flashcards every week and he just learns a new concept, and then we go through the cards. Thank you, God, for this beautiful world. And you make a paper rainbow, you mix colors, you yellow daffodils, you make yellow daffodils. And then they also have classical music on there, which we don't do, the classical music. And then the read alouds. So you'll get all the books with your curriculum. And this one was The Colored Kittens. So if you can see that. And you will read it a couple times during that week. And then you'll go for an outside activity, you go on a color walk. How many different colors can you find? So that's kind of the activities with kindergarten. Like I said, I just wanted more of a more math added to it to bulk it up. And so that's what we did with it. So everything is pretty repetitive through the week. You know, they have their little flashcards that we play. We either play Go Fish or we play matching with. And that was always the funnest part for him, to see if he could beat me. So that's kind of a look at the kindergarten curriculum. You have all the books, all the read alouds that you need. And there's, of course, additional resources in the back for different books that you could read. And they also do it's supposed to be called the ones cup, 9 or less. We call it units because of Matthew C. And then you have the tens cup. My piece of paper fell off. But this is what they do until they get to 100 with beans. And they learn place value with that. And then they will move on to expanded form cards once they get that. So that's just kind of the kindergarten curriculum. Now we will go into the expiration to 1850. So again, this will kind of, this is the contents. This is what you'll be going over each week. It gives you like what you're going to be doing in every subject. And then it gives you suggestions for math and language arts. We don't do these suggestions on there, but they do have those because you will add a math and a language arts once you get into the family cycle, because you're going to be doing that at a grade level base. your preparation. And so with this science, let me get to the science here. Start at the bottom. That had exploring creation, and I actually bought, you can go to a different website and you can buy the science experiments and the botany book that goes with this book. So you have all your supplies. But it will tell you each week, well, here's your, kind of give you a preparation of what you need to do before school starts. Goes through each subject, how to fit everything in, and then we will go through your weeks. So this is week 1. So it doesn't have, but this would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And usually Fridays are pretty open as far as they don't have a whole lot to do. You will start with your Bible. And this one they did, Boy, I've Got a Problem. They went back and forth. They were supposed to memorize the whole book of James also. And so they will go back from the Bible study and then for a week, and then they'll go back to memorizing verses in James. And then there's just different books that you read. It'll tell you, you're going to read In God You Trust, this page. It will also talk to you, tell you the discussions that you're going to have. And then here's 2nd and 3rd grade supplements. So this is what you could do for your younger students. So it has your, and this is our student sheets, and I added a lot of student sheets to it. And you can actually go to Facebook. They have Facebook groups for each different ones. And someone makes files. So I have, you can get tests downloaded, or you can actually get their booking pages downloaded with pictures, because a lot of it, they don't necessarily have all of it. So here's your student sheets. And I like to have everything put together. So this was one that came with My Father's World, with the student pack. This is one that I took from someone's file and added it. And then just maps that you go through. And so everything that you need is in there. They start going over states toward the end, or halfway through, I would say. And we kind of made it fun. They colored what state they were doing, and favorite facts about the state. They'd have to write their favorite facts and draw a picture. And sometimes we'd have to look up some different facts that were maybe just a little bit funner. So that's the look inside of My Father's World and their student sheets. Like I said, I added quite a bit. And with this one, I had a 6th grader, a 4th grader, and a 2nd grader that all joined together in the family cycle. So I didn't have to teach 3 different sciences. I didn't have to teach 3 different Bibles or 3 different histories or social studies. It was all into one. You have your read alouds that you can read. And they just lay it all together very nicely. I like that there's only one teacher's manual for all the subjects except for, of course, your math and your language arts. And that everything I needed was in there. They even have like preparation, like if you're going to be doing science activities or any other thing, they will tell you like what is going to be in for that week and what you need to maybe have ahead of time for your science projects. That was probably always my biggest downfall, is that I wouldn't look in it advanced, because it's kind of like a pick up and go curriculum, that I wouldn't have the stuff that I needed for science, even if it's just stupid stuff like, so I actually ordered the pack that came with exploring and creation and botany, and that way I had everything that I needed for my science. So that is kind of the look at the curriculum. If you guys have any questions, I would say that my kids, they sometimes get bored with the reading. Can I tell you some pros and cons? And I think a lot of the stuff in the history is very repeated. So you might be reading for the history book, you're going to read the story of the world, a 30-year war. And then another book that's called The Last 500 Years, it's going to be about the 30-year war again. So some of it is like a repeated, and some of it's kind of a long read. And so that's kind of, and I suppose I could leave some of those out. And sometimes we did. So sometimes it's very repetitive on the different books that you read. And so, but we would usually get done by 1 or 2 o'clock with all of them. What my day would look like as far as how we actually made it work is my kindergartner. I would get him down here. We would usually like to start by 9, at least by 9, get him down here, and I would get him started on his kindergarten work. The other kids would do their independent work. That included their math. That included their state sheets if they were doing state sheets, or even the president sheets. Because we went over all the first, we got to so many presidents, but they come with these cards, the curriculum does. So they would look at who was the 10th president. They would write his name down. They would get the information from the back and copy it. And so that was stuff that they could do on their own. They could do their handwriting on their own and all that. So I'd have that all in actually bind everything just to keep it so they could see what they had to have done for the day. And then after kindergarten, usually took us an hour, hour and a half to 2 hours maybe. After that, they would come and we would read together and start through our school. After we got math and science done, then I would, if they had independent work to finish, they would finish their independent work. If they were done, they would start their weekly chores or their daily chores. And then I would work with the littlest, my second grader, on her language arts and get her done. And then I would bring the 4th and 6th grader. They're at the same level with language arts. They're up in a higher level with language arts. So then I would work on them together with their language arts, and then we'd be done for the day. Then they would just finish out their chores and whatever else was left to be done. And after that, they were free to do what they wanted to. So guys, if you have any questions, just let me know. I would love to help. If you want any like screenshots of maybe inside of a different grade level or just kind of what it looks like, there's also samples on myfathersworld.com that you can go to. I highly recommend joining the Homeschool Defense Legal Act. That's hslda.org, where you can go to that, and I'll put a description and a link in the comments. So thanks for watching, everyone, and you guys have a great day.